software that can be free and modified quickly and easily.
Proprietary software is safe and is guaranteed to be good.
If a bug develops in your software, it may take months to fix, but with our software, somebody will come along, report it, and some nerd on another computer will fix it, probably within a couple of days.
Yeah, ours is regularly updated, yours is...
Yeah, and it's free updates, and the latest information in the software is usually provided.
Yes, but you have to pay for your software first. We get it for free all the way.
Our software is easier to install and is used as the production is planned and extensive.
And yours is out of date, yours is out of date.
Our research is carried out to ensure users purchase only the best.
Expensive research.
Yes, very expensive research.
Expensive research which can also be done by comments that from people that use our software, and so we can fix it for free.
If it is worth it for a quality product, unlike your open source software.
Programmers are not in it for financial gain, so they do it in their free time, so they're more relaxed and they're not as pressured, so they're less likely to make binary code errors.
Yeah, but it also takes longer to make it.
Incorrect.
We have stable system support, and if it fails or malfunctions, there's always someone there to help.
Customizing your software is nearly impossible though, because you get binary versions and it's like impossible to understand and decode because it's the manufacturer's software.
Our software is safe and it's guaranteed to be safe from dubious threats like programming bugs and viruses.
Whereas yours is full of them.
Right, let's go for it. Right, Windows gets viruses, doesn't it?
It gets fixed in a day, doesn't it?
Right, let's take an open source operating system. I don't know, Linux. That doesn't get viruses, and it never wins.
People that buy proprietary software, some people think that the source code will automatically ramp up their security when you don't. You have to buy the security to go with it as well, so it's double the amount of money.
No, it's not. Yeah. And it's also worth it,
you know you're getting quality. It's like yours is like a championship team. It can't stand up with the big boys. The big boys is us. Proprietary.
Open source software, it can fit our own personal needs, unlike
and
easy for us to customize.
And there's also like say Norton. You have to pay for Norton, don't you? And it's basically a virus.
I have Norton.
Yeah.
It helps. I haven't got a virus in like how many years?
Yeah,
and then with yours,
why don't you get Microsoft?
Like that,
why don't you get Microsoft Security Centers? That's open source.
Because it's not as good.
It is. It does everything you want. And it's free.
I don't agree.
And you get updates every 3 days.
Yeah, what we know is updated constantly as well.
Our the designers for proprietary will overcharge you for your software, and they'll lock you out or like sabotage it. So if you end up like parting ways with the company that your proprietary software, the developer can hold your site on hostage and deny access to your system, even though you're the one that's made the software.
But the reason they do that is because they've given you the best. They know the quality. They know that yours can't stand up to us.
Yeah, but you paid for it.
Yes, but it's
why
have you modified it? It's already good. Why not
It's gonna be good, isn't it?
Your proprietary software is a heap of junk.
proprietary?
Okay, your proprietary software is a heap of junk because you have to pay for it. You get major software, so I have to say that. But there are hundreds of tiny updates with open source. You get lots of tiny little updates which fix bugs individually, and they're all free. Like say, like when Apple wanted to update from iPhone OS to iOS, you had to pay like $30 for it.
Oh yeah, there's no guarantee of record. Yeah, and also, I doubt your average fellow is going to be able to just easily update it.
Yeah, you can. You click update button.
Yeah, what for all hundreds of them? You just go, update that because that's the
Actually, normally they compress into smaller packets.
Yeah, because I know I'll do that, don't I?
Yes, you only click the update button. It's literally as easy as that. It's not hard.
I don't think it is.
Our updates are completely easy to do. Yours takes it out.
Ours are quicker and easier because they're better.
Your software runs like, I don't know, like...
Clockwork.
No, your software runs like lumpy gears.
Well, it doesn't as everyone uses proprietary. You don't get many people
Because
using
they
open
think it's
source.
better.
Because it is, they know that
It's
it's
not
safer and they're more guaranteed to have a good
Oh, so you go back to Linux and Windows then?
And you don't have any
What's
qualified
safer?
support either.
Yours is qualified support.
Yours is easily.
No, we went first.
You got no qualified support, and all the support you get is from the forums.
And it might not be correct support.
But
Exactly.
we have there are nerds sitting at computers, ready to receive report, monitoring the forums, and if they find somebody reporting the thing, they'll fix the software and post it on the forum, the update.
Yeah,
What they can.
you said they do it in their own time.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
if they
so
don't
it
wanna
might
do it
take
in their
longer than if they have specialist help.
Yeah, what if it's out of
If
office
they
hours?
have a life,
Well, what if it's not out of office
Well,
hours?
then, as soon as the
screwed.
nerd gets home and checks the forum,
Yeah, but what if they
if
did it
you don't want to do
before
it,
that?
he will.
what
Trust
if
me.
he just wants to do it?
There is an obsessive urge with nerds to program.
What if I need help
And you know.
before it's the end of office hours?
End of office hours.
Yeah, but what if I need help before that?
Well, then a nerd would be
That fans
there.
are already
Then I
there.
don't
They're in the
know.
office.
He'd be in the office.
Exactly.
So
To
you'd
be honest,
probably
their
check
manufacturers are better because yours are under a lot of stress to release them.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but your one, yeah, it's like
And any of your designers, if you wanted to edit it, then you'd have
Edit
to
what?
like edit your software. You'd have to go and get another designer. And you wouldn't be able to edit it without the site from scratch if you're going to use another developer for it.
yeah,
Because you
but
wouldn't understand the gibberish that your other developer used.
the open source solution may not be CCHIT certified by the originating agency, and this may provide challenges, especially if the user is seeking grant funding that requires as a condition of fundings that the software to be acquired.
Let's face it, both of our softwares are good, both
No,
of them
it's
have
fine.
their uses, and both of them have their ups and downs.
Yeah, but open source has more ups and downs.
Yeah, it has more ups and
No,
downs.
it's more downs than ups.
At least ours is easier to control.
I agree, easier control. Yours needs monthly
Ours is easier
Your
to.
manufacturers think too big too fast.
CCHIT,
That's what I'm
actually.
saying.
Ours is more
And you need an internet connection as well. Because if you try and use some pieces of software, you need internet connection because they want to verify that you're using their genuine software.
No, because
Well,
I can go on proprietary software even when I don't have my internet
Yes,
on.
I'm talking about
But on open source, if you find a problem
have to
while
go
you're
on
on
the
it,
internet to go
you have to
update it.
call them, and if someone's not at their house,
You have to go on forums with some of the
Yeah.
internet. With no
And then-
internet, you can't fix your problem.
and as
Yeah,
well,
but
if you have a really good smart person, they can tell you to do an update which will make your open source vulnerable to other attacks.
Going back to the updates, they take forever.
Yeah, yours take forever. Do you know how long it was in between updates for some proprietary software?
Doesn't matter.
Up to 12 months.
Yeah, but yours looks like it's 7 years old.
Yours looks like it's
Not
7 years
necessarily.
behind everybody else's.
Well, man's hasn't seen any wrong word open source software that looks up to date.
Okay then,
Nice.
Google Chrome,
Yeah, well,
open
not-
source.
Yeah.
One example doesn't mean every single one.
Okay, Firefox, Internet Explorer.
Photoshop.
Yes, but think about all
Look
the
how
other
good that
ones.
is. Big companies use Photoshop because they know they're getting the best.
And then you use Paint.
Yeah, you got paint.
No, Paint is proprietary.
Proprietary. Okay, what do you use?
Boom!
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry.
What do you use then? If you have to edit a few
Oh,
snapshots?
I use what do you call it? VideoPad 3.
What for editing photos?
No, that's more for video.
I thought so.
Ours is better because if it fails, you've always got someone to call, and you get free updates, and the latest information of the software is usually provided. And research is carried out to ensure that everyone has the best, and like you're not slacking behind like open source.
The updates that we get come quick and free. We also can also edit the source code yourself, and there are always people that are willing to help you on forums.
The Shelf is our programs made by big companies. There's millions of users, so your programs are compatible with most computers.
And we are doing custom build software, and some of the advantages are you can edit your software to your needs.
So I can create your expectations and requirements. It can also be modified, and it can change, and it's easy to use.
Although off-the-shelf software has been made user-friendly to be able to be easily to use, much easier. The fact is the interfaces are more complex with your custom-built software. Because, like, if, for example, if you need a separate lead, you're going to have to go into that and change many things. Off-the-shelf software is straightforward and basic.
Yeah, but for example, with like most off-the-shelf softwares, it can't be customized that greatly. Most of the time, most people will probably be using only a certain amount of that product, so they perhaps won't be taking most of it, so you'll be wasting a lot of money. Also, if you do use complex software, it's been built so that you know what it does, you know exactly what to do from the start.
But the majority of people who use these off-the-shelf programs such as Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint are people who are either in like they're working or they're at school and they don't need these specified programs which work in certain ways. They just want it for basic, putting things together and sending it off, for example. So I feel like you'd have to be in a special niche to be able to need those kind of programs. You have to be in something which is just like specially needed. I feel like for the majority of people it's much more easy to have a relatively cheap program which you can use on a day-to-day basis.
The other point is you could probably buy two off-the-shelf programs for the price of all the bespoke software, and then it would do both things anyway.
And then again, that software that you buy, customised, could be made by a cowboy developer, making something that's very hard to use, buggy, incompetent, and wasting your money.
Yeah, but
off-the-shelf software can also be buggy, but it always gets updated because there's millions of users. There'll be so much complaint the whole company will go under because there's more users than just one.
Even when things on off-the-shelf software get dropped, it's been so far advanced and beta checked that it will be able to be used for many years until something new comes out. Whereas with bespoke software, it might be up to date for a while, but if it gets dropped, it might still be buggy because there won't be the people who dropped it and people who are making it.
Yeah, but you just pay more money for them to make an update system.
But what if you don't have this kind of money to afford custom built
So
software?
why the hell would you want to make that kind of software in the first place?
Or maybe you had enough money and then he made it for you, not what you wanted. And the thing with like off-launch developers and things is they make programs and they want their money for it. And they're going to do it, they're going to make it, and then they're going to want you to pay more the more they do because it's tedious work to make a software. So you're going to have to pay a lot of money.
Some of the functions in bespoke software don't work, and also bespoke programs are usually only for big businesses. So most people won't even, on a day-to-day basis, the average person on an amateur computer won't even use a bespoke program.
Yes, but if you do have a business, then if you do use your software, chances are you'll have to spend perhaps a bit more money to try and get all the software you need to try and get what you might have to actually change the business to actually fit the software you're using. Whereas if you have your own custom-made software, you can actually keep the business idea fresh, you can go on with what you were going to do in the first place, and perhaps pay potentially less. Because if you had like loads and loads of programs you'd have to purchase from your side, then it basically means that they would have to perhaps change.
Yeah, bespoke won't be bought. Well, it doesn't really need to be bought by companies like Apple because they can make their own programs for their software. They don't need to pay other businesses.
Yes, but for new businesses that are coming out, they might need a bit of a boost or perhaps some sort of
new businesses,
yeah, they won't have enough money. Most businesses have the same needs.
But off-the-shelf software is harder to maintain than custom.
Yeah.
Can you explain what you mean by maintain?
It's complex to use.
Yeah.
It's like
it
takes a long period of time to understand how to use
it's made for simplicity. That's why so many people use it.
Because
when it comes customer support and help menus, it won't be provided with
but
bespoke.
it takes a long period to know how to use it. For example, Photoshop, you need to be on it for a long amount of time, like a week or even a year, and then you'll be falling guilty of lying. Just
on a home desktop, on a home PC, you're not going to need this bespoke software because there's open source, which you can get from, and there's also off the shelf, which you can get from. And for businesses, even off the shelf software will be more usable because small businesses might not have the money, and even there's already going to be these bespoke softwares out there. And the companies that have bought them and they're going to sell them on because they want more profit. So your originally bespoke software has now become off the shelf or open source. So it's better for home PCs. I think that there's not many practicalities of bespoke software. It's very expensive and it's not as easy to use.
Also, with off-the-shelf software, there's already help built into the program, so you don't actually need to look on forums that might actually not be true.
Yeah, you can just put that into the actual software itself.
But you have to pay the developer.
Yeah, and so if someone wants to help immediately,
you have to pay the developer extra money if you want.
But if someone wants to help immediately,
but every extra thing you want in it, you have to pay more for.
Alright,
that's the point. Everything comes. You pay one price and you get everything that you need to
what about
write something.
in your business? You're saying that bespoke software is for the businesses. Say you want to interact with another business, send files. Maybe you have an invoice because someone just purchased something from you. If you're using specialist software that you have made for yourself, the format might not be the same, and then it's tedious and a lot of aggro to try and send something to another company. If everyone is using off-the-shelf software, they will have the same format, easy file sharing, everyone can send things back and forth. But if you're using this specialist software, it might have it might not be the same, and it might be awkward for them to log onto their computers, which makes your business at a loss compared to the business that is using like Word or Excel.
Also, if you do work at home to bring into the office, if you have bespoke software at home, your business in the business, you're not going to be able to do it at home because you'll just have your normal computer that you just bought from the Apple store, and it won't have the right programs in it.
Your updates are also really long and tedious because you want someone to do it for you. Say that you're a company, you're not going to have, unless you're a computer company, you're not going to have the knowledge and the know-how to update your systems. So it's a never-ending cost. It's never ending. You're going to keep on having to pay this kind of money to update it. Whereas if you buy off-the-shelf software, they update it for you on a regular basis to get rid of bugs and to update it to your needs.
Also, it takes a very long time to get your bespoke software made because, as well as having it made, you have to have meetings with the developers to see what you want, if you want this bit, how you want this bit to work, and it will take extra time where you could just buy something straight off the shelf. It takes about 2 minutes to get it.
Yes, but if the software, perhaps, buying off the shelf, it's not exactly different. What if your company would stand out? What if you could actually, even if you put extra money into it, what if you could perhaps have people make a program for you? Perhaps if your company was built to hone this program and promote it to actually earn extra money. If you have
But then it's going to become off the shelf, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your program is turned into the program that we're fighting for.
Yeah, and also it's very risky to do this in the first place because you put in the money and then you might make something that's completely useless.
Because communicating with other people, there can be a lot of Chinese whispers. Like, you can tell one person something and then they'll make it and it won't be what you originally wanted. So you have to go through a long development until you can get it on.
Applications and requirements, and it's very easy to use.
Relatively cheap, made in large numbers. Easy support.
Lots of online forums, common people using it, putting it online. They'll have software developers will putting it online.
And if there is bugs with it, loads of people have noticed it, so if they don't want to change it, it'll get taken to court anyway.
You know what it does.
And when you buy it, you know what you're buying it for. The same ones like editing photos, just editing photos, you'll get sort of edits a photo for someone to use it then?
So it depends really. If you want a really complicated program, then you'll probably pay more. But if you want a relatively easy to understand program, like perhaps just for typing stuff up, like a bit like Word, it has all these options when actually you're probably only using it for typing actual paragraphs. Only a very small amount of words probably used for other things. So with BIOS, you probably can pay less perhaps just to have a program for very simple tasks as well. So that's another thing.